how many people are interested in improving the world did you decide to take on this personal mission of writing a book about avoiding recession?
All of us should start with this, that the buck stops here. If we do not inculcate this in our thinking process, sooner or later society will suffer. What could I do to help? I could write a book. I'll do the best that I could do.
Satya, for 60 years the world economic system works reasonably well, and then in 2008 it falls apart. Why did that happen?
Human greed.
Whose greed?
All the individuals who are participants in the world's financial system.
So you're talking about CEOs, presidents, managers. You mean the entire system was greedy?
We should not take names and blame people, but the fact remains that the way that they saw the truth was very different from the way they should have seen it. The way they saw truth was something which was hurting society. The consequences are there for all of us to see.
You have used a crashing car as an example of what went wrong with the system. Could you explain what you mean by that?
If profit becomes the only objective of business, it harms the balance that is there in society. When unrestrained greed is there, then you forget that there are brakes also in the car which need to be used, especially if you have to avoid jerks for passengers or you have to stop at a traffic light. Inevitably, 2008 recession happened because everybody was driving at full speed, forgetting brakes.
Everybody. So without naming names, we're talking about people who were in charge and ordinary people, householders, in their economic choices at the personal level. They too were being greedy and perhaps over-optimistic.
There are two ways of looking at it. We can say everybody is the culprit, or we can say everybody is the victim. I would rather use the word victim. We were all victims of our choices, and these choices came because of education concepts which we did not apply in real life.
How do you educate a society, individuals and groups, in fact entire nations and entire blocks of nations, away from being greedy?
It's very simple. You start with the individual. The sum of all individuals makes society. If all education institutions have a curriculum which makes them sensitive to the needs of society, and if they are able to see the truth in a manner that they can see the consequences of their actions on society, then before they think of income, they will think of the outcome of their actions.
Society is often quite resistant to change, and greed as we know it, and as the same thing that caused the 2008 recession, is ingrained in our societies. How do you propose to change that?
Well, anger is also ingrained in a human being. If there are techniques of controlling anger, which so many people use, greed is something that ancient wisdom has tackled very well through its practices, its texts, its concepts, and its theoretical models. Those models are applied today in real life situations.
But you're looking at changing an entire economic system. So you're looking at personal economic choices, household economic choices, group and organizational choices, the economic choices of nations. That is a very, very big task, isn't it?
It is a very small task. It starts with each human being following a goal of life. Every small activity that we do right from going to the supermarket is to achieve a goal, to do something. So why should a life of 60 or 70 years not have a goal? Therefore, when the car of life has 4 goals which are given in ancient wisdom, then the air pressure is balanced and we can have a safe journey, not only for the individual but also for society.
The Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, has provided a foreword to your book. Does that indicate a reliance upon personal revelation in this process of moving away from greed?
The idea is not just who has written the foreword, but how to take the idea of values forward in society. And all good people should work towards that objective. There are people who are sacrificing their life working towards the objective. And I think if all students who are going through various curriculum in all education institutions have a similar commitment, we will prevent not only recession but also crime, social conflict, disorder, and many other problems.